After spending almost 2,000 years apart, the Romulans and Vulcans still share many common traits as depicted in Star Trek. Both races share a common trait of being condescending and arrogant. You can see this in their interaction with humans, whether it's the Vulcans essentially babying the humans as they eventually learn to fly through the stars with the warp drive, or the Romulans who cavalierly discard the Federation as a potential enemy or even real threat to the Romulan Star Empire. Both races are indeed committed to their ancestors, whether it's the Vulcans who are committed to Serac and his teachings of peace through tranquility and the idea of logic before emotion, or the Romulans who are committed to their ancestors of those who were essentially outcasts of the Vulcan society and had to fight for their right to survive within the universe. And because of that, both races do appear to be very deeply spiritual. While we see Vulcans often praying and going to temple and dealing with spirituality in a way that seems normal to us humans, Romulans, on the other hand, do appear to keep that essentially behind closed doors, at least away from outsiders, but they do share that common trait. Additionally, Romulans and Vulcans enjoy being a bit of voyeurs, but for different reasons. Romulans enjoy spying on their neighbors and potential exploits for resources or manpower and slave labor, while the Vulcans enjoy looking at their neighbors from afar and seeing how they're developing or learning more about them without too much interference. Additionally, both races are highly advanced technologically and extremely intelligent and have very quick wit. However, the races still differ in a multitude of ways. The Romulans are often depicted as hostile and duplicitous in nature, with an even aggressive streak, if not more tame than that of the Klingons. Because of their militaristic nature, their social status is achieved through military contribution. Oftentimes, members of the Tal Shiar or Romulan Imperial Navy will rise to the ranks of Romulan political structure and eventually become leaders of the Romulan Star Empire. Additionally, their xenophobic nature causes them to occasionally become isolationists and shy away from outsiders because they view most other races as inferior to them. Additionally, the Romulans are very duplicitous in nature. They often will say one thing and do another, or lie to get an upper hand on an enemy, or just lie outright just for no reason at all. This is essential to the Romulans' being as an entire race. That's what separates them on their core level from that of their Vulcan brothers and sisters. They instead replaced the outright violence of the past on Vulcan with a duplicitous, aggressive style of nature with an intent to just be secretive and hostile towards other races and even themselves. In contrast, the Vulcans are extremely logical, very diplomatic, and often non-violent. They see through the teachings of Serac that the idea of just using straight violence will never solve anything. Now, that doesn't mean the Vulcans won't stand up to defend themselves if their lives are being threatened, but they will often exhaust all diplomatic and non-violent methods in order to achieve their goals. Also, the Vulcans have a high degree of honesty. Now, this is in stark contrast to the Romulans, who enjoy telling lies and being secretive. The Vulcans believe that speaking truth, and speaking rather plainly to those that you are discussing things with, especially in a diplomatic nature, often leads to a successful mission. And their social status is not achieved through military contribution, but rather their work ethic or education, and then utilizing that to contribute to the Vulcan society as a whole. It's essential of the idea of the needs of the many outweighing the needs of the few or the one. The more the many support the entire idea of Vulcan society, the more you are rewarded because of that. And one more additional difference between the Romulans and the Vulcans is that the Vulcans believe in one essential deity, which is the teachings of Serac, while the Romulans believe in multiple deities all at the same time. Again, these are some fundamental differences between the Romulans and the Vulcans, but it's important to remember that these two species, while on the surface appear to be very, very different, often do share common threads threads because they essentially can't escape the fact that they have a shared lineage, and that there's really no way around that. Be sure to sound off in the comments down below and let me know what you guys and gals think about the entire Vulcan Schism series. Was there any information that I missed that you wanted to know more about, or did you learn anything really interesting? I'm also curious to hear what you guys and gals think of my essential theory here that the threads of the Romulans and Vulcans, appear to be on the surface level very different, but on the core, deep level, they share a lot of common traits between each other, if not presented a little bit differently. I'm really curious to hear what you guys and gals think about that. Anyways, guys and gals, I hope that you enjoyed this final video of the Chapter 3 of the Vulcan Schism series, The Ties That Bind. If you enjoyed it, please throw a like and a subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at RealKetwolski. And I appreciate all of you guys and gals watching this video. And please stay tuned for the next series of the Katric Arc lore series, where we will be exploring the Terran Empire. Live long and prosper, my Trekkies!